Hey friends, Graham here from the recordingrevolution.com. Got a really cool technique that maybe you want to try if you're ever recording drums in the near future. I was in a session last week and accidentally stumbled across a very backwards way of miking a kick drum, and we got a really cool sound, so I wanted to share it with you. Maybe it's not applicable to every situation, but the lesson in here is very valuable, at least it was for me. So we were trying to capture just a really good kick drum sound by itself for a very percussive, relaxed, chill, sparse arrangement. So not full kit necessarily, although towards the end of the song it is full kit, but we layered things one thing at a time. So we played the kick drum beat and layered that and then added other things. Suffice to say, we were using two mics on the kick drum initially. An inside mic, we used a Shure Beta 52, which is a dynamic microphone, trying to get some of that beater, some of that smack. And then on the outside, we had a FET 47 clone type microphone, a much more affordable version of the Neumann's, but it just a good, nice, large diaphragm condenser, which got a lot of that oomph, that low end, that natural sounding kick drum sound. Together, they sounded great in an earlier session that day, but by itself, with this song, it was sounding like a kick drum, but it didn't have the snap that I wanted to hear. Let me show you what we had by itself. Here is in context with the song.
Dear friend, I wish I could only call after all.
So here's the inside kick drum mic. Let's turn this up. Okay. Mostly beater. Here's the outside mic. My favorite of the two. And the idea is to kind of blend the two, right? Sounds like a kick drum. But in the room, we listened back, and it was okay. I mean, it was okay. It didn't have the power that I wanted it to have. And what I was frustrated with is when I would listen to my drummer hit the kick drum just sitting next to him in the room. The kick drum sounded way better than this. And I was trying to identify why. What is it about the kick drum in the room that was sounding better than what we were capturing with these two mics on the front? I kept listening, and then it occurred to me that what I was hearing that I liked, a snappiness, a clarity, an air, a realism on the kick drum, wasn't really the kick drum itself. In fact, it was the sound of the snare drum vibrating every time you hit the kick drum. Okay, if you've recorded drums, then you're aware of this. Anytime you hit one drum, it's going to cause other drums to ring or vibrate, and that can either be a good or a bad thing. In this case, it was a good thing because the snares were still on, and I asked him to turn the snares off, the snare drum. So he turned them off. And then when he hit the kick drum in the room, the kick drum sounded so lame. Sounded super, super lame. And that confirmed what I knew, is that what I loved about the kick drum sound was the sound of the kick drum, him hitting it, the low end, all that stuff, but it was blended with the sound of the snare drum vibrating for a split second when he would hit it. And when that dawned on me, I thought, man, to get this kick drum to sound like I'm hearing it in the room, I'm going to probably have to mic the snare drum. I'm probably going to have to mic at least close to where the kick drum is making the snare drum vibrate. So I took another microphone, another condenser, I think it was a Rode NT1A, because we had it on the tom mic, the tom drum, and I just brought it over to the beater side of the kick drum, to the front, and I just kind of placed it looking down at the kick drum, down at the floor, but also looking sort of down at the side of the snare drum as well. So just in that general vicinity where the drummer's feet and knees would be. Just looking at the beater side of the kick drum and the side of the snare, and just capturing that overall vibe there. And what we get on that track, which I'm calling kick front, sounds like this. Turn it up. And you hear it. You hear the smack of the beater, because you're literally right next to the beater, which is way more smack than the inside mic, right? Because we're way closer to it. And you're hearing the snare drum. That's that nice shh sound, that nice shimmer, that nice air. It's a slight rattle for a brief moment. And so then the simple thing is to add all three together. Keep in mind that these kick drum mics, 1 and 2, the inside and outside mic, are facing the beater from the resonant side of the head. This third mic, the kick front mic, was sort of facing the beater side from the beater side of the head. So they're facing each other. So they're going to be completely 180 degrees out of phase. So I had to put a trim plug in or something. I needed to flip the phase of this kick front mic for them to be in phase. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your low end. All you have to do is flip the phase on that, much like a top and bottom snare mic combination. And together you get something very, very cool. Power, punch, clarity, and air, right? So let's go one at a time. Inside mic. Inside and outside mic. Inside, outside, and front mic. Way more weight and realism. And then, of course, you have 3 to play with, so you can blend it perfectly to taste in context with the mix, which is really kind of what happens here. So I just bring in the guide tracks.
Dear friend, I wish I could only call.
Take away the front mic.
After all, you're the one I want to make proudest.
Bring it back in.
You had a lot of life to live, and surely had a lot of love left to give.
And there you have it. You get way more realism, clarity, and punch. So could you do this in a multi-track drum session where you're actually playing the snare, playing the cymbals? Of course you could. In fact, people do this. I have never done it. In fact, this is the first time I've mic'd the front of a kick drum in any capacity. But it makes me wonder, do I want to do this on a multi-track session? We'd already tracked the kit for the previous song that day, so we were done. This is sort of the last thing of the day. Otherwise, I would have experimented with that. You're going to have a lot of issues, potential phase issues and bleed issues like you do anytime you use more than one mic on a drum kit. But it was an eye-opening experience for me, both in how to get a really cool kick drum sound, but if you want to take it a step further, in how to approach mic placement. If you're frustrated, if you're disappointed that something in the room sounds really good, but when you mic it, it doesn't sound good, you know that something's wrong, maybe you need to think outside of the box, think outside of what you have typically done, and just ask the simple questions. You don't have to get complicated. All I would ask was, what is it about this kick drum that sounds awesome? It sounds awesome because it's making the snare vibrate. Well, then why don't we just mic that up? And then we got a really, really good sound. So it's not very scientific. It's very much a creative guessing game. And all you have to do is analyze and ask good questions and answer your questions, and you'll stumble across something that might be helpful, like this surprising little kick drum mic placement technique. Sound off, let me know what you think of this. Maybe you guys already mic up the front of your kick drum. Let me know. I'd love to hear it. If you like these videos, subscribe. That always helps me out and helps you out so you're in the loop when another video goes live. And if you never make it over to the Recording Revolution, the actual site, you're missing out on a ton more content there every single week. Join the mailing list to get even more bonus content that I don't send anywhere else, and you'll stay in touch with all the cool things we're doing over there at the Recording Revolution. Have a great week. Make some great music, and make sure you have fun this week, guys. Take care.